Hey, what I wanted to do today is kind of go over with you the scripts and what to say whenever you are making your driving for dollar phone calls and the best practices on getting an appointment. Whenever you're doing these driving for dollar phone calls, your whole goal here is to actually set an appointment so that you can go meet these individuals in person. And once you do go meet them in person, I want you to be able to take an actual contract with you so that you can negotiate the deal right there on the spot, okay? So I have a couple things I want to go over with you, and just bear with me. It's going to make sense in the end. Okay, so think of this. Let's say you could have any classic car you want. Just think of anything that you may want to have. Maybe it's a 67 Mustang. Maybe it's a 97 Impala. Just think of something like that you might be interested in. Okay, you got it? Now, I want you to imagine that you have the disposable income and you have the money to buy that particular vehicle. And you're driving down the road and you see it. You see that 67 Mustang sitting there. And you notice, oh my gosh, that thing needs a paint job. It needs some Bondo. It needs, a little bit of work to kind of get it to where you want to be. Now, I want you to think and say it out loud. What would you do to go buy that car? Maybe you would knock on the door. Maybe you would leave a note on the door. Maybe you would try to find their cell phone number to try to call them so that you can buy it. Right? If you really wanted it that bad. Now, I want you to understand that this is exactly just like that. I want you to think about buying and calling these individuals about their properties with that same exact mindset. Nobody's going to get upset at you for calling them and complimenting them on their home. Just like nobody would get upset that you liked the car that was in their driveway and that you wanted the opportunity to buy it. So, whenever you're making these calls, it's best that you don't act like some big, huge investment company. It's better to just be you, be yourself, because everybody's going to respond to that better. Whenever I'm dealing with sellers in that point, I always make sure it's about, me, just Julie from your town, Julie from right down the road. I'm just, here I buy some properties, buy, fix, and sell them, and buy and fix them up. So, with that being said, since you're in our program, once you actually put your addresses in, we're going to provide you the name, the address, as well as the cell phones that correspond with that particular address or with that person. Okay? So here's how the call goes. Simple as this. Let's say his name is John. John, hey, it's Julie. How are you doing today? Oh, good. See, the other day I was driving down Main Street and I saw this property that I believe that you own. And it is exactly what I'm looking for. You see, I buy, fix, and sell houses, and, I buy and rent them out. And when I saw yours, I thought, hey, I got to give this guy a call because it's something I'm really looking to buy. So I was, wondering, John, if I could maybe meet you out there on Thursday and make you an offer for the property. Simple as that. Myself, they're not going to be upset that you're, just calling them out of the blue. Here's some objections, though, that you might hear. Someone may say to you, well, how did you get my phone number? Well, I looked it up on the internet. It's amazing what you can find on the internet these days. I always just try to kind of turn it around as like a joke. Someone might also say to you, well, what's your offer? I don't want to meet you. What's your offer? John, I would love to give you an offer over the phone. The thing is I just saw it when I was driving by and I didn't get a chance to see the inside. So I would have to assume the worst on the inside. And I don't want to do that. I think for me to give you a fair offer that both you would appreciate and I would appreciate giving you, it'd be best if I could just meet you out there. Can we meet on Thursday at 4? Right? So you're just doing these calls over and over and over again. The goal is always to set the appointment to be able to go to these meetings. You're just going to be more effective in person. right? And also with working with us, once you set that appointment, all you're going to need to do is give me a call, give Laura a call, and we'll actually get some preliminary numbers together. We'll actually send you out with a signed purchase agreement. That way, while you're there, you can get that thing signed, sealed, and delivered. That's the goal with this first initial phone call with these sellers, okay? Now, know this, the more of these you call, the more opportunity that you have. Remember, these are cold calls, so it's going to take quite a few of these to get a deal. But I'll tell you, I've made a significant amount of money just using this particular strategy alone. So I encourage you to get out there, do some driving for dollars so that you have a bunch of calls like this to make. Another thing that I want you to do with this list. Not only do I want you to call these people, I would like for you to send them a letter. And I don't mean like direct mail to where you're going to a service and you're paying all this money to send letters. What I would like for you to do is take a regular number 10 envelope, okay? I want you to hand address this envelope with their name and their address. The reason I want you to do that is I want the biggest opportunity for them to read your letter. And you know good and well, just like at home, if you get a letter in the mail that's handwritten, you're going to open it, right? So, what do you put inside of this letter? Just what I want you to do is Google this term, real estate investing yellow letters. Then in Google, I want you to go to the images. When you go to the images, you're going to see hundreds of different examples, okay? I want you to pick out something that kind of, fits your personality, something that you feel like, would be good to send. They all sort of say the same thing, that you're interested in purchasing their house, things like that. But it's super important that you hand address these envelopes. So maybe if you've got, kids, teenagers, it'd be a good job for them, but it will matter and you will get phone calls back. Also, when you're sending these letters, you may decide that you want to get a different phone number than your cell phone number on there. That way you can actually track the calls coming in. Here's my references for that, or referrals, excuse me. You could get a Google Voice number and have it forwarded to your cell phone. You could get a service like Vumber.com. That's V as in Victor, UMBER.com. It's about $9.95 a month. You can actually download the app on your phone, make calls from it, take inbound calls from the app. It's an absolutely wonderful service, and that's what I use. So that is going to be the best strategies to do whenever you are driving for dollars. Okay? It may seem a little monotonous in the beginning, but I promise you, these calls in this marketing set doesn't really cost you any money. Okay? But it is a way for you to get some good deals and get them going. Always remember, the best deals are going to be direct to seller. It's not going to be from other wholesalers, and it's not going to be on MLS. So if you can learn anything with working with us, working in this program, as you're in this business for the years to come, the ability to be able to talk direct to sellers and do deals direct to sellers is going to make you the most profitable, because you can always wholesale those deals. You can buy, fix, and sell them. You buy them and rent them out, whatever you're looking to do there. But that's the goal with these. So make as many calls as possible, and please just be you. Just be you, and just call someone just like if you were buying a car. Just remember that analogy. For me, it was easier for me to think of houses like cars instead of houses in the beginning whenever I started this. The calls will get easier and easier and easier for you. So just practice, and make sure when you're talking you're smiling, because people can hear it in your voice. So if you've not made a lot of phone calls or cold calls, you might want to think of, maybe putting a mirror in front of you. I know it sounds silly, but if you put a mirror in front of you when you're talking, you're going to see yourself smiling or not. And it becomes infectious. But I promise you, if I said, "Hey John, it's Julie, how are you doing today?" "Hey John, it's Julie, how are you doing today?" My voice changes whenever I smile. So I encourage you to do these steps to get some successful deals, some successful appointments, and to do our next deal with you. Thanks.